Big blast, big blast, big blast for your ass. Northern hemisphere is wrecking. Southern hemisphere is wrecking. We've had some big geoengineering moves to manipulating some big storm tendrils out here in the open oceans of the world. Good morning, folks. It's 8:18 a.m. on the 16th day, 8th month, 2023. Okay, we got a good division now between these two storms going on here. And I'm going to roll this now and let you have a peek. I'm going to take it back a little bit in time so you can have a look at the latest 120 hours of fuckery with their dew dropping out here because these dew beams keep dropping into my feed. Well, there's that one there. And later on, you had this other one come out here, operates and backs these tendrils into each other so one storm can go beyond the other. This is quite a wall of energy this other one has hit, and it very possibly should be backing the tendrils into each other. That shoved that way, and this is the compressor. Now that'll become a very well organized storm. There's a V that comes down from the top, you'll see here at the end. It goes through just part of the storm. Usually that's indicative of a dissipator where it'll actually destroy the low of this storm itself right here. Here where they see where they hit it right on that side of the eye, which might back the rest of that into that and shove that moisture into that part there. Just going to get a little bit of the moisture from this tendril here hitting Hawaii here over the next 48 hours. This beam here, you can also see some dots that nucleated differently inside this stream here when the beam comes up. I'm going to have to do this on a roller here in a minute. Actually, I think I'm going to... Here, let's step this. I'm going to go do the backwards jumps. This left the atmosphere. It went out to the upper tendrils of magnetic things that are out there that I'm not going to go into all that today, but this left the atmosphere right around here. That's a blast and a half. And the nucleation of the curve is come all the way up through here, right? So the curve comes up and around. It does. So that's actually connected into the North Pole's electrics, that one. And you can see that happen right here. And not too much fired south. It's going to have an effect here on this storm here, tendrils. See that straight line of that there? I don't see that this here has been done by either of the ice cube collectors that collect neutrino information, right? I call it a collector. It emits a light pulse, very powerful. I have another beam here intersecting Madagascar, and she's in up and over too. And yet I can't pick out the emanation point, but I do see a piece of a swat coming in through here, and this is going to manipulate this piece of moisture here. I'll do a quick jump. That's the end of the feed. Go backwards in time a couple clicks here that we can watch the beam. Ship out here. There's no nucleation of any disturbance of any of that moisture. It hasn't changed at all. The condensates are still the same. Hitting up to this side of the storm. Boy, that's a blaster. Then, how many hours jumps are we doing here? I'll do that in the end. I'm going to keep going over this. So we knew there was an initiation point here. There's an overlapping beam, different layers of the atmosphere getting hit from the same point. That's how you'll end up with that fan unlock. Are there any devices I know around here that can do this? Yeah. There's a low fire over here. It is a big, huge... It's like HAARP had grandchildren that came out hexagonally and all landed in a field, and there were a bunch of 7 of them or 8 of them. I don't know, fucked uplets, when you have that many at once in some area. So this did not come from Antarctica. It doesn't have that luck. And you could have an emitter here transferring the signal up and around the curve, whether you like it or not. It has nothing to do with my reading of Mimic. Oof. So this is not good. That's going to quake up here. We know that we've had an interference pattern from that previous beam, right? The wrap around. This one here. I'm going to get it on screen. I know it's there. He's going to know. Right there. So we know we've had an intersection point here. This is the highest interference pattern happened right here. And I'm still very worried. This is a direct hit on the San Andreas Fault. It is racking. And Cascadia took a big hit. And they're both quaking hard. Yeah. I'm very concerned about right where I'm pointing. Right here. See this V? Oh, yeah, I could read beams. See, this one intersected here. There was another one intersected somewhere. Let me go forward again. The sweep went that way. To that side of the fault. It's going to leave a little gap, and she's going to want to catch it. The reverberation of these other waveforms out here is rocking back and forth to crest the ring of fire. Is a big risk for Los Angeles and San Diego areas. They want the poor neighborhoods, it looks like, as they burned out Maui. I have not found a laser beam yet, but I know that these beams here are directed energy. These are microwaves. Microwave towers like NEXRADs can be used to direct energy as a directed energy weapon. And I saw that happen. And I have all the data for that directed energy weapon known as a NEXRAD radar and how it destroyed and aimed the winds to control a fire. How a fire can move very quickly in a straight line. All it takes is one nefarious person who gets paid and just starts a fire. I can go down a road with a bicycle with a Roman candle and could have caused that straight line. The winds would have burned it right to the ocean. Those poor folks. Shouldn't we at least pray for the dead first sometimes? I'm gonna do a show about the symbology and all the suspicions. And we'll cover the suspicions, and I'll show you with logic how a rocket launch of a Falcon 9 for 2020 is being rerun is one. I'll show you how a light pillar from a Michigan refinery explosion during a winter time caused a light pillar everybody said was a do, and is now being replayed again as Hawaii, which is wrong. I could show you three of them straight off. I've done a video on this already. It's how they've been reused through the years to say it was something it wasn't. I'm looking at a big beam that's shed up here through the trough, and it's singled out over here. And I don't normally call earthquakes for this area. You be concerned. You have a concern. They all intersected right about there. If they try to frack over there right now in that forest, it's going to cause a small quake. You can get into small threes. Won't surprise me at all. And they got creamed at the same time. A typhoon hit them while a fire burned down here. There's one can that shows that of Mountain Dew. Oh my God. The conspiracies that are going around the communities, man, they make my back hair stand up because some of them are so spookily accurate. Spookily accurate. So now I'm going to go and show you some of the Chembombinations. I wanted you to see these two beams that have been going on, and I did. Did that quite successfully, I think. And I'm going to roll it back so you can see all data in there. Get it with all these glorious timestamps. I'm going a little lower. How low can you go? How low can you go? There we go. Now that's going to pin this one a bit. It's going to cause that to be eaten. That's going to go. It's a steamer. It's absolutely going to become a monster. Pacific, who's going to gather it? No, that's going to shoot back there. The monster's here. Beam comes out. These Three Gorges is fucked. They've had too much. I don't see how that dam is going to survive these damn geoengineers. They creamed Osaka. Absolutely creaming. And it's the tendrils just now starting to get over there towards these islands up here and go into parts of China and up into Russia. Oh my God, what they've done. How they can move this moisture. How this reacted to that beam, backed it in, split the storms, make these tendrils separate. That might die. I'm watching that close. I don't see how it's going to survive that. This tendril behind it would very easily, it's for its momentum to take it, and that's been steered north. Hey, Hawaii, you might get one. They could ride that in-between line. And watch this very, very closely for Hawaii. Man, they could typhoon your asses. Typhoons Pacific, hurricanes Atlantic. Wind strength determines whether they get called that. Above 73 miles per hour, you get called that. Not 73. Yes, get this. It's a 74. Oh. No, you don't give it one. Hey, we don't try to make things worse, or why don't you make the temperature map red for 40 degrees Fahrenheit? Our bodies are 98.6. We all be beat red like a weather map. So, Ray, which one I want to show you first? Well, I don't want to show you this. This is horrendous. Look at all the squareness of this. The Smackingtons of New Zealand here. The Smackingtons of Wellingtons with the combination of it all. Look what they're doing to you. My Manoa. Your air looks like Manoa. It does. It looks like a bunch of manure. The manure. Don't act like a manure. It's horrendous, these big beams that are rocking this planet. And then the Chembombs as well are not helping y'all. Y'all been rocking. You had a few quakes right where I'm pointing here and here. One here and one here. And 2.7. The small potatoes here. As they would say in New Zealand, it's just a wobble. You ain't lived till you felt the New Zealand wobble. And I'm talking about doing a spot and standing and put your head up too quick. I couldn't resist. Look at that chembomb right there. You join that Kaikoura Mountains. Oh, look at the flower of death right there. Predictable formation staying in place. It's not just mountain doing that. Yeah, that's bad. Look at this here. The wishbone. But you're the ones that are pulling apart. My God, look at the chem deployment here. Bomb, 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 bomb. Center emanation point. Shed something. I'm going down backwards in time. So let's pull this forward. This is at 320. I imagine it'll be a bit smoky by 420. Only you can prevent dumbassery. It's 410. Very geometric. Center point still something's deployed. Could we hit the Strato Cruiser? Could the Project Loon, which also worked in conjunction with ScopeX? Do we need the perturbation experiments? I remember somebody corrected me about Project Loon. Y'all remember when I was tracking the balloons and showing you the plumes and everybody was arguing with me? Yeah, that was great. When people believe Biden when he blames China, yeah, isn't that great? Fucking people. Streaming that way. So the upper level winds I've determined are going that direction. But not over here. Everything's moving that way up there. Yeah, so up here you just got bombs being remotely controlled. Small drones can do that. You'd never see it from even a mile away, a small drone, let alone 10 miles high. 8 miles high. Boom, boom, boom. And then it falls to the ground. Your garden is sucking up these toxins. Your organics are gone. As this goes in your streams, they're swelling them, they're killing your dreams. This is not funny, but I'm doing it anyhow. They're burning your houses down, they're beaming you, I'm screaming, the call is on. It fucking is, man. We are being poisoned. This is the ANZAC of it all. The accusation that they're poisoning the ANZAC over here. You guys are supposed to be together. We're not together doing this. My God, look at the waveform going across this whole country. This little haze thing is also interacting here all the way through here. Getting fried. Ray Alice Springs over here. It's gotta be Alice. Oh, Alice. Up to her old devices. We'll get the cities, hang. We'll go in here. You'll come up. Yeah, right there. Right there. And they're putting a straight line beam out. I know for a fact. And I better get this out now. As you had a big blaster was going full circle earlier, but it's sweeping this direction. Right. I did get a screenshot of that, right? So we do have copy. Right, she was blasting a lot bigger than that earlier and all the way over here. These gaps here where flows can go can be directed in different directions. This is beaming a different level of the atmosphere than this simultaneously. The sweep move is shoving moisture up in this direction and blocking the strait itself. That was the move that's going on with this. You'll start to learn how these gaps in the flow can channel winds in and it will release out the other side very suddenly if we force it like a syringe down that neck. Out it comes at a higher pressure than it would if you just poured it out the other end. Right? So wind coming in this direction, if I put a V shape out on this side here that was similar to that, it would force it out in a very high wind in that direction. Here's what they did to Maui. Somebody started a fire and they directed the fire line and I caught it. recorded exactly and showed how the flows of the other islands were cut off windwise. They couldn't go through. They did that move that I've been showing you guys for a long time, and some of you have caught on. I can't advance that image. That was an older shot. It wasn't too long ago. And so this is what's currently on that. Let's see what's going on now. All right, what are they showing now? It's still blasting, but it's harder toward the center now. Boy, your ears ought to be ringing in Melbourne and all that there. No energy, lethargy, ears ringing. Some people feel vomitation, where you get queasy inside from the disturbances of these EMF blasts as they rock their frequencies through your body that are not natural. You're frying here, frying here. We got a corridor of frying here, blasting a scatter beam out toward the coast. Boom. Boy, that moved in quick. It's going to run into this line of stuff. It's actually cycling cold air up into there. Bam. And that was a force. Boom. So whatever they swept before, which in here, that was, sorry about that. That's a good look at this beam. I'll get to that. I'll get to it. I shouldn't have took that one back down. Right, so this open gap here that had something gets hard shoved straight off in there with open sides. It's toroiding like this in the air. Like if you could look at it straight on as it was coming at you, it'd be like a big circle growing outward like a sound wave from a dolphin's beautiful emission horns or the bubble they play with. And they're not liking that through here. This is a whale beacher. He's just going over a known island and a known path of their travels. I want to imagine that dolphin cloud there cruise along. He's kind of making my point to me. We are fucking with their sonic navigation and we need to stop. We need to stop fucking with the things we say we love. There's another gap created here and here. So this is just to move moisture and to cause flow. That's what that move does. Alice is frying, this is frying, that is frying, that is frying, that is frying, getting fried, ANZAC style. Is New Zealand frying? I ain't loaded you yet. And yours takes fucking forever. So we'll do it anyhow, because you're worth it. Okay, so I'm going to take that off onto pause. Right. In case I want to make my point. But really, there's no need to. They're good screenshots. The more I close down, the easier and better the broadcast gets. I'll get to that. You guys here, are you frying? There's a mighty curve look to that. Just square with an emanation point right there. So I'll have to look at what the Taranaki radar here. But a lot of times these images here will show me everything. Beam shoots out there, right there. See it? Flow stepper. Well, how is it just going across? It swept that direction. It went dun and pulsed. Oh, there must be a new image. My God, look at that scatter suddenly in that direction. Sudden duplications. It's going to flash every time. Oh, that's the land. There's so many islands and stuff. The border here is just giving an illusion of something. All these little red dots tickling in here are little bomb explosions. Sudden change in temperature. See the V shape to that? It's not natural. Look at the pulses going out to sea here. Pointing straight out toward the known. What is that, Westland? Getting fried, getting quaked. Wake and quake. Welcome to New Zealand. And in the last 24 hours, they put all this out. Yeah, I can go there. That was just a beam off Gisborne. And nothing super definitive there as they had over at Eyes. So let's let that go. I don't like to look at their forecast because they couldn't forecast a fart off a can of beans. And how come beans don't have a fart warning? Eating this can and not holding your gases in is bad for Greta's health. I regretted that. So let's go to more combination. So there's this waveform came across does. It causes a sweep. And it causes a flow line, which is going to pin stuff down this way. It's going to make your ears ring and feel very uncomfortable. And love those things and symptoms I said. I own an Ione. Do you? Thank God. When these big beams go over me, I feel bad instantly. But then I could take my Ione and put it on a Earth set, the 783, and Levitt harmonic myself all the way to a harmonious existence. Yeah, I'm so glad I got one. Wow. That's a slow wave. It's moving very slow. It might be circling in the air like that. It's this very square form over a very well known, nefarious place of lots of secrets. Like, how's this Area 51? His devices. At some point, I'll have a torture there, but it's redundant. Because what they have underground or under a canvas or something, you don't know what's there. Not even the operators know. They're not going to know. How come my screwdriver don't fit that? Because you're not supposed to touch it. You ain't supposed to look inside the magic box. Don't. Only look at the shoes behind the curtain. Look at this over here. Walla 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 walla. Ba boom boom plums. Ba boom and a boom and a boom 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 and a plum and a plum and a plum plum plum. Boom boom ba boom boom ba boom 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 plums. Boom boom ba plums. Boom boom's falling out on you. Boom boom ba boom. Why yellow? You guys are so yellow these days. Are you going to stand up or you just like talking about it? We're all going to revolve back to the same oppression with our revolution, where we imagine no religion and no possession. John Lennon was selling this agenda 2030 to you. Feeling owned yet? Well, I imagine not being possessed by their demons. I think John Denver had it. Blow up your TV, throw away the paper, move to the country and build your home. Instead, they're blowing out the campaigns, putting lies in the papers. You're getting conted. They're stealing your homes, breeding some Chembombs. They're all in your peaches. Isn't that a peach now? A big dick in your sky. Look at that big old bell end. Hey, Higgins, you draw this one out here. It won't take you much imagination. Look, it's got a big old Jeff's eyes spewing out. Yeah, the hissy hole. Look, man, it's a big bell. Ladies and gentlemen, the Higgins cloud with the big V for your vag, you're getting vagged. You died from cunticide. Really? You're being sprayed like insecticides. This is the EMFicide. Set it all aside, facticide. Take your brain and shove it straight up. Some people, I think, leaked out at birth. Look at these Chembombs going and exploding. I'm just following them along, creating a shockwave to keep these two systems apart and provide the chemical catalyst at the layer of the atmosphere wanted. See that one there? Emanation, pow. Again, emanation, pow. That's not a circulation. It's blowing something out. See the face of the stuff in the sky here? Look like the old fucking Nan Witch herself. Did you see the tikis on the cans of the Mountain Dews? Even the tiki showed up. You ain't liking this. That cam size showing is from 2008, by the way. Hey, look how long ahead of time Bart Simpson told you 9/11 on a little comic book thing. That's right. We're talking 15 years ago that can came out. Look at this as a very obvious emanation point of a big chem deployment. So let's watch it again. Here's the Mercedes Ever. Just following it, moving it along. We got a strato cruiser. And Project Loon helped develop the strato cruiser. ScopeX uses the strato cruiser. David Keith is working with both programs. Whoever argued with me about that one better just stop. Just stop. Before I own you in public more than I have in private. Yeah. The name's going to come out my mouth. I just know it. You're going to know. Something came along in a line here and caused it to develop a deployment is something very black or caused a flow line. It's darker because this imagery is a infrared grayscale. Get a pointer right here. Now the wind's all going that way, right? I'm going back with the eye of the dragon. Look into the eyes of the dragon and say, "How you doing?" Don't be despairing. Everything is different. So good morning, people. How you doing? I might even spot a couple names while this is rolling along. Rick believes it was dual. Well, I told you, directed energy is also a NEXRAD. These big blasts I show in those beams, even like this. in this image here. It's directed energy. It comes from a microwave emitter. It might be an SBX, one of the platforms there. It might be a Chinese one. We got another beam down here. You see the pulse? Pop, pop, pop. So that was more than one blast. There's your pew, pew, and your Star Warsy and shit. Or when I go and I look at, let's say if I pull this back up on the national radar, and you see that that's a directed energy beam from this radar station here. And when you zoom in on the super close, they ain't showing you much, are they? But that's the emanation point, and they blank it out of the local. But when you put it on the national, you get it there. Right? So you don't tell me that we're being lied to, and that's actually due directed energy. And if it's causing weather warfare, it's a weapon. And it's listed microwaves under the treaties about directed energy weapons. So I know I'm correct. And I haven't seen a laser, so therefore what I have seen that was a directed energy weapon in Hawaii is their NEXRAD station itself on the island, fanning the winds, like I showed you happens in this move here. It's why he stopped to explain that. Because they did this to Maui with flames, while flames were going. Air going in here channels out faster. If a fire's here, it's going to burn straight to the coast and stop. And it did. It sickens me what they did, but I still have to feel as a spiritual person, I would like to take some time and have some respect for those killed, those sacrificed by our oppressors who believe in human sacrifice and other things like that. They believe in this. They think it gives them power, and they keep staying in power. You know what their power is? Is you fucking going along with them, your mind, and them aiming you towards certain opinions. So as I look back over here, I see total chem bomb lines. I got microwaves with chemical catalysts to help propagate the waveforms. Substances like barium and strontium and lithium actually do this quite well. Aluminum's really great for that, using a electromagnetic frequency or your directed energy being aimed from a NEXRAD radar to strip ions. And put a that's why I go bzz, bzz. I put a hamburger in a microwave back in the day. That's the noise you hear. You actually need to fork on a plate to put it in. It's just the sound of plasma or the ions being stripped. And they can cause lightning too if they do it powerful enough. Now, you don't think two arcs of this don't think like something is hem to chem in a line to nucleate like a waveform pulsing Fort Alice Springs? I think so. And then it nucleates in between. Look at that shock wave here. I'll go in here and have a quicker look at this. A little quicker. Wham! Is that fast enough? Or should we have a closer look? From the nothings to the something. He has a rumble. That's almost cloud brightening type EMF look. And you guys got a lot of homework to do to catch up to me. And you don't see what I study. Yeah, look at the common one here. They blowed up over Harvey Bay. That's terrible for the whales. That's another obvious. And even as those curves move out, look at double intersection here. That'll double the height of the wave and sink the trough the same values of each one of those. Oh. See the bomb and the EMF. Right there's the square of the bomb. Triangle bomb, and definitely microwaves. This is electromagnetic directed energy being used to war us, the people of the world. They declared war, and it's because of a lie called 9/11. And made our battlegrounds your neighborhood, and that meant they treat you differently. National Defense Authorization Act declared all U.S. borders 100 miles within any inland of touching a U.S. border Constitution-free zone. That means the Mississippi River. It means all the Canadian borders, the Great Lakes, 100 miles inland, all of Chicago, all those big cities are in a Constitution-free zone. You know who holds that power there? And morality. That's where border control comes in. Customs can come in and do things. I'm telling you a fact. I believe it's been upgraded to 150 miles since it was done. Yeah, aren't you happy you got aimed while our oppressors made lockdown camps that nobody sat in, so Halliburton still gets a paycheck? They don't care if those are ever used. They're still getting paid. Got a lot to learn when you realize that your government works for somebody that's not you. But don't want you to think you got a choice. If you get punished for not voting, that's wrong. Why? Because they're going to give your vote to somebody else if yours doesn't win. And if nobody voted, there'd be nobody else to win. That's a scam-a-lam ding dong as I go right back over here to New Zealand and I'm looking at this double bomb cluster here, moving along, toxifying the air, making the air over my Wanoa like manure. And I'm get tired of it. And Hawke's Bay copping enough. Now they got to breathe this shit. It's not drying out. The molds over there are terrible. It is not a natural. That's not a line of the straight mountain there. Somebody said that to me the other day too. I said, no, I know where the mountain goes. It's a beautiful mountain. I flew over. Oh God, it was spectacular. It's kind of stuff you can't stop taking pictures of. Well, then I realized somebody else took them pictures. I'm just gonna look. Look at that bomb going up here. That's not natural. You got mountain range here, runs this direction. It's kind of white. There's a few gaps where you'll get flows that can come through, like one back here. Archer's Pass, they come through here, down here, and out that. To what a valley, too. Oh, it's beautiful. Here they bombed you. They bombed the penguins down here. You know, you got penguins down here. Look, Bill Gates' logo is right there. I mean, it's not too hard to go from that windowsill and take lines and make a fucking swastika out of that. Because that dude is as Nazi with his fucking attitude toward human experimentation as anybody's been on this planet since Dr. Mengele, and sometimes I wonder if that's Mengele's son. That's a terrible deployment. All right, let's give a little look here now about your sagginesses that are coming. I'm not going to take you too far into the future of the forecastations, but I'm going to tell you you got some fuckery coming at the end of the month. Whose do I win? I'm just going to give you a grade. Here it is. Here it comes. Now I can stop for a moment and have a sip of my drink. Now, that's my opinion on the do. The do that I proved is the NEXRAD radar itself. You want it to be the Lockheed Martin jet because there's a lot of arguments that you want to have that says so. But I got a lot of proof that says it isn't. Because when you show me a picture that I could show you was used in a different year. And for instance, I'm going to show you one right now. 2020 Falcon rocket launch. Falcon 9. You will see a very famous picture here. Hey, where is he? You put it on a fact check because it'll come out. This is, I'll do a specific one. Hang on a minute. Here's where you'll get you. Watch this fact check sites. Check it. Not Mountain Dew. All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do it out loud. I'm going to do. I had some proofs up already on this. I'm just ain't going to go through my all my docs to get it. I don't want you guys to see everything I got. How am I going to ask? What am I going to ask the computer? Falcon 9 rocket launch being passed off as DEW weapon hit in Hawaii. Right. This is one of the Falcon launches that I've seen being passed off. The one you've had on your wall, it should be this one. If I'm going to go to the fact check site, you'll see it. They get it. No. Fact check directed energy weapon. Fuck. Hang on a minute. I'm trying not to type because I can't see the screen very well. Yeah, this is absolute. Oh, that one I've busted up myself. Let's just go to the images anyway. Right, that there is Michigan from when they had a refinery fire. I know that for a fact. And that gave off one brief light pillar. Yeah, it only lasted a couple frames. And this here is some of the images. I'm going to go there now. I don't care about the fact check part. Now, all the fires I seen here, all the things are mounted properly. And some of the rims are still intact. All the plastic door handles that were insulated, which would normally not burn in a do-it-tech, have been melted. Yeah, the beams are properly melted like a heat. It was literally like a furnace would have been in there. And those would have, as things fell on the backside and these were glowing, that would have bent like that. I'm not seeing no signs of Hutchinson effect. This is just one image. I've gone through a lot of images of cars. I told you I'm going to do an entire show on this. But the fact checkers are 100% correct about that DEW beam. And this one here was in Michigan. And many years ago. This one here is the rocket launch. Which I'm going to go to a search Google for image. So here's how you do this, right? You just click the picture. Right? Just click it. And then go search image with Google. Now, on your right side of your screen is going to come up another box. Now, I can take this into any part of this image I want to see. I can go to here, I can go to here, and it'll show me. Okay, so I'll take this to its edges here, and let's see what they come up with. I already know the answer to this. This is a Falcon 9 rocket launch, and it's from 2020. And I'll say search. This is how do you do it, Reverend? I can search any one of these I want. So under here will come this picture. Somebody says Voldemort. You'll see how many times does this one work. This is actually a very accurate picture. It shows the actual rocket launch. You come down here. This is. Let me get their picture up. Oh, there's. It's absolutely a rocket launch. Somebody says it was due. What time did they say it was due here? This one here is 2019. This image came up. This one's come up in even just seeing the years it was used. You're going to find out this is a 2020 November 23rd having that image. You tell me more, did you drink the doop juice? Tell me more. So this is how I do a lot of check-ins, right? I'll go over here to this other site. And let's look at this. So I'll put that again. Search, done, boom. Light pillars. And there's a very natural phenomenon that occurs when you get enough ice crystals down low. There's so much freaking chem, man. This shit's frozen very down low to the sky. We see a lot more light pillars. Nearly any flash of lightning bright enough can give you a brief light pillar on a digital camera. You don't see them as often on standard film, but you see them the hell out of them when image chips and stuff on cameras will protect the camera itself. But that light pillar, they didn't know how to process it. And so we see it on a lot of digital image. And a light pillar, to me, if I see a lightning strike and I see that kind of a thing poking out, I have an alternative explanation. And therefore, if it's an alternative explanation and it's logical, it ain't even coming in on an angle like a fucking jet would though. Right? Come on. Occam's razor. Learn about the principle of Occam's razor. What is the principle of Occam's razor? The simplest explanation is preferable to one that is more complex. In a nutshell, the simplest thing is most likely to be it. Well, I know they're nefarious. I know they have these toys. You and China ain't getting that fucking close to Pearl Harbor, and I just addressed an issue I had no intention of covering in this show. And so as we continue to water going along in here, using their directed energy weapons to attack us, weather warfare now for a very, very, very long time. I could show you many cases. They cause earthquakes. That's how I tell you. That's a directed energy weapon. Those big beams. You can't tell me exactly what did it, because we ain't there. Is it an SBX? Yeah, it's in a part of the world it operates. It's close to Pearl Harbor, and we wouldn't let any other vehicles like that get anywhere near Pearl Harbor, so it's likely. Or was it the Lockheed Martin jet? Unlikely. Unlikely. Because I've yet to see an image proving it. It's an invisible wavelength of light ain't showing up in your eyeballs. And helicopters and stuff, I'll get into how firefighting and stuff uses wavelengths of light to determine where people they can save might be, or your pet. You imagine a green light coming out is helping them see through the dark of the smoke, and you see your cat and you can get it. And if you zoom back, maybe you see a helicopter, but there's so much going on. It's so tragic. But the fires on the cars are not looking dew-like to me. Not like they did in Paradise. Paradise looked dew as hell. Paradise, I say it pointing dead at being Lockheed Martin. Do weapons, laser beams, but I'm not seeing it as of yet. There's a lot of conspiracy I'm going to go into on that. So right there he is. I took you into your Saturday. Here comes your soggy Sunday. You're getting here at about 12 noon my time. We'll put it about midnight your time, or 1 in the morning, just before midnight hour. In the midnight hour of Saturday night, they're gonna fucking blast your ass with a gust of wind. You're gonna have a bit of rain, and it's not gonna fuck right on your face. It's gonna fuck with your days. It is gonna have a little bit of sogginess. Boy, are you gonna be moist. Moisture levels will be so high. Yeah, about that day there, you'll be drying out maybe a little bit. Man, when you get to this time right here, she's gonna be so wet. Hey, that's a moment. And when this course is over, imagine you're gonna get a quake. All dynamics of the two. That's when Wellington will hit. Can I call it an exact hour? Will that freak you out? I just pointed at it. And she fucks you off, isn't that nice? And then you get really, really high, man. New Zealand, you're gonna be so fucking high for that day. And you're gonna go, oh my god, is that the sky? Wow. Or will they chem bomb the fuck out of you that day to toxify your ears? Only the toxifiers know. Who knows what evil is placed into the hearts of men? The shadow government knows. And your Pinocchio has a shadow nose, and it's invisibly growing right before your eyes, and your mind is the prize. Come on, it's okay to admit you got fooled about the vaccine now, because you're going to need help healing, and you're going to need our help. I'm just waiting for you to say, I need your help. Nah, I don't want to hear I was right. I know that. I don't need that affirmation. So I'm going to have a little bit of a look here at the fuckery that's going to go on here. Is out in the Sea of Japan. No. He just decided it did not want to do that. Google search will go away. That's how I do that real quick. So hopefully that skill will help you out. Because it's all about the sharing, man. If I teach you to fish, you ain't going to bother me to cook your dinner. You're tired of cooking your dinner. I'm damn sure tired of you guys raiding my refrigerator and saying that you cooked that recipe. Yeah. What a bunch of analingers. R-slingers, slinging shit out there. R-slingers, R-slingers. Linging what comes out the arse. Look at that shit cruise right on up the coast, and as the steamer comes along, and the next fuckery for the Japans. That actually should go out. Shouldn't really do much on that. Japan's saying, no, by then they're blasting it with their own next red, and that's the time of the Three Gorges Dam are going to get seriously engorged. It's just my worry here. Watch this totals. Oh my god. There's the fives. This is relentless for the Three Gorges Dam. And this area here, oh my god. Over here in Jiangyu, that must mean like fuck you in another language. Hey, Jiangyu! And up here through all through these valleys up here where the food is produced, they're finally getting a little bit of relenting going on, which is great to see. Because they have absolutely capped it for the last 4 months. And for 3 months plus, this area has absolutely capped it. My heart goes out to Thailand and these islands. Because, guess what? Here it comes again. Giving the chembombs to the body never wanted. Yep. Treating you all like hoes. Everywhere you go. We all must say together, no more, no more. I am not the system's whore. It is all about that. Or maybe you like being a whore and being choked out instead of made love to and had tenderly. The 50 gray shades of gray are in your sky. Go look. What you're being told and what it really is are not always the same thing. Salesmen often lie to us. And a politician is a salesman for the corporation selling the products they tell them to. They sold vaccines because they said they want a safer one to keep your confidence. A little Private Kennedy up there again. Yeah, they got great values, that family. Spit Brothers and Marilyn Monroe, didn't they? They cheated on Jackie O. Yeah, that's great fucking goddamn family. Oh, Robert, yeah, he was no saint. The spit roasting you just mentioned came to mind. This breaks my heart seeing this chembomb outline of a heart here in the sky. And these whales over here getting toxified. And I ain't even gone here yet. I haven't even hinted to them I was going to do this. All right, let's have a look. We're going to go right into the guiltiest of Ma. They absolutely censor the quickest. Ooh. It's quick. Cam, 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 cam. Hey, hey, look at the EMF right over where the earthquakes happen. Look at that bomb exploded here. It's a caca. Caca. Oh, that's to the other side of the caca. Where are we at? Show me. Well, the lines are beginning to appear. Let's do it quick. Cam bomb cluster here. Cam, bomb, bomb, bomb. They love you, so they do it to you. They want your money. They want you sick. They don't want you to be able to march towards them, so it'll make your feet bad. Funguses and all sorts of shit. There's damn sure a fungus among us going on these days in the houses of governance. Really, I'll point at your house of government. It says, "Welcome to the house of bums. It's the government. Welcome to the liar's den. Welcome to the house of bums." Cam boom 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 boom. Boom boom. Boom 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 plume. Boom boom herring, boom boom there, boom boom pluming everywhere. We're all from the house of the bums that we vote in there. They're just the liar's den. What a bunch of bums. It is not a very clear satellite break line there. So what did they choose to put under or the other? What did it really look like before they decided which image to give us? And this is going up over the top of that. And you see by the shadow gains. It says a very high level altitudinal deployment of Chembombs. See the clusters of shit here? This is not just EMF. Anybody says it's just EMF? Needs to further educate themselves. In wave propagation and directed energy usage. Before they use a lot of them things, they'll deploy something in the sky to help propagate the wave. That thing looks like it's doing an up and over. Falling out towards you. Falling out because they do. Falling out from the air. From a theory of something called gravity. It's like somebody tasered its face off there. The angel of death has no. Oh, there's the angel's face. Oh my God. Yeah, it's not good. See the squares here? Yep. Geoengineering, it's not good. That's not good. That's not good. I like to smack him with the club of wood. Hey, we could beat him with the wrong club. That's our choice. Or we could choose to not behave that way and become humane beings and ascend into the universe. Because I'd rather be a humane being humane than a human being inhumane. And while seeing this clusters over the whales, which I showed you over here was going on, that view was criminal. Boom. These are Chembombs. These are not naturally occurring cloud formation. These are paid for by philanthropy and private corporations and interest groups that have an interest in failing crops, that have an interest in fake food, that have an interest in your sickness and your treatment. Well, you know what? I like to have people that know what they're doing, like naturopaths, and go have a doctor practice on me. And I've never seen a curing ward in a hospital. If they ain't figured out how to cure you, I'd rather go to the witch doctor, have him smack me out of head and go, whammo! Because that guy was feeling better after that. And well, a whole lot of people feeling really bad because of what the experts said. And those experts will be has-been, and they've always been a spurt. A stain on the mattress. And that's, I think, the brown stain on the mattress that was the politicians and the corporations was their brains and their empathy sticking to the mattress. And while I will not become empathyless, I will not be watching these Chembombs with my mouth closed. Everybody worries about Hawaii. We're all Hawaii. We all can be bursted and dude. We're all getting fried and toxified. It isn't just them. Look at this out here in the Bay of Bengal. That's a pretty obvious to you here, the squares. Is that obvious to you yet? This is not just done with CERN. It's an unprovable. These are Chembomb deployments and local microwave weaponry that we can prove. And here's the chicken foot. Or is this just a duck depth situation? Only you can decide. I think if I look at this for one more minute, I'm going to burst into tears. Stay safe, big